Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 2 of the Porsche Cup Series I've got running here. This week sees the grid head to Mount Panorama, aka Bathurst, which is one of the world's most famous circuits for many reasons. Firstly, everyone will have heard of the Conrod Straight and the infamous dipper and mountain sections. This is really going to test the driver's skills, not only on track, but to dial in a setup that they're happy with that can cover multiple disciplines. So they're going to have a trade-off between, on the downforce, whether to go for ultimate speed on the Conrod Straight or for grip coming down the mountain. So it's going to be, a tricky one. We'll see if anybody actually nails it and manages to get the best of both worlds. So this season they've got all sorts of tuning available to them. They've got the full suspension, downforce, you name it, they can adjust it. And last week at Spa was an absolute classic, provided some brilliant racing. And this, I've got no doubt that this will going to be the same. Well, this is how your grid stacks up for round 2 here at Mount Panorama. Wally DJ takes pole with a 2 minutes 10. Absolute flyer of a lap. Closely followed by Shadow GT in second place. Third is LFC Ben. Fourth is Danny C. David Wallbank takes 5th spot on the grid. Butler takes 6th spot. Followed by Bongo Man in 7th and Joey J in 8th. And here's the second half of the grid. So you've got IRC Knock in 9th place. JP takes 10th. I managed to qualify in 11th. Tyler takes 12th place on the grid. 13th is Ekberg, and rounding out the back of the grid is Swifty in 14th place. Well, get your snacks ready, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on to your hats. This is going to be an absolute belter. So here we go for round 2 of Jimmy Codger's Porsche Cup Series. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Jimmy Codger Racing and round 2 of the Porsche Cup Series I've got running here. So they've had the qualifying, and it was quite a frantic qualifying, but Wally managed to stick it on pole and beat Shadow. It was very close. There wasn't much in it at all. There's a couple of hundredths in it. So this should be a really, I say interesting, maybe not what the drivers call this round. This is a notorious track. It's famous for so many reasons, and as they're approaching now, they're coming down the mountain straight, and there's a clue for you. It involves a mountain section, which in the daylight and in the bright sun is a challenge in itself. You've got to manage the car balance. You've got to get the weight transfer as you go around it. As you'll see in a minute, there's quite a few twisty turns, and it's all about getting the weight transfer and getting the car settled. So already the field has started to spread out slightly. So this is we've seen so many incidents. This is as they're going over the skyline here, just a drop over the crest now, down the mountain section for the first time. This is all about like I said before, just keeping it in check. And it's second gear for the middle section, back up through the gears, third, and then up to fourth, and then it's the Forest Elbow into second gear, just picking your moment to get back on the throttle and just missing the boards on the right hand side on the exit, and then it's just basically pedal to the metal down the Conrod Straight. So they've all managed to get over the mountain section cleanly from what I can see. I'm just going to scroll back through the grid. So in the lead at the moment we have Shadow GT, who's currently leading the championship after round 1 with a fantastic win, a dominant win I must say, and he's really taken to this. And some of his setups, as I mentioned last week, were how did I describe it? A bucking bronco that you've got to cling on for dear life. But he seems to have tamed it, and he seems to have mastered it now, and he's the man to beat. So he's closely followed by Danny C, another quick pair of hands. He didn't have quite a good result last week. I think he finished 5th, so he'll be looking to make an improvement this week. And he's closely followed by David W, who's also a really quick driver. But they'll all be aware that they've just got to keep the wits about them. And it's not a sprint race. This is obviously, as you can see, it's a 50-minute endurance race. So there's going to be all sorts of strategies at play here. So let's quickly go down the grid as David's managing to keep Wally at bay for now, but Wally is a wily old fox. I say old, he's not old, he's only a whippersnapper, but he's fantastic on fuel and strategy races. He loves this sort of thing, so he'll be just biding his time and sort of trying to work out the best strategy, which will involve multiple bowls of cornflakes, I would imagine. So he's a big cereal lover. So go well out there tonight, Wally. So he'll be just keeping an eye on this. As you see, Butler getting it a little bit loose coming down the mountain section there. Sparks flying off his car there. So we've got LFC Ben being hunted down by Butler. So we'll all see now what they've tried to prioritise. Do they go for ultimate pace down the Conrod Straight? So i.e. low downforce, but we see them working together here, giving a bit of bump drafting going on from Butler and LFC Ben, but we'll just go on board with Butler, as you can see what he sees. So they're trying to work together, so it's not always the best move to, as we see Ben outbrake himself there into the chase. Yeah, that's one of the heavy braking zones that you're coming down that fast. About 168, 170 mile an hour, and you've just got to get the car stopped, get it steadied, ready for the corner entry, and just try and carry as much speed through as you can. But you've got to do all that in a split second, and it's very difficult to get the car settled, as we saw LFC Ben there just go a little bit deep, but it's not done him much harm. He may have lost a place to Bongo Man by the looks of things. So we'll just come back out of this view, ladies and gentlemen. Do apologise for the multiple scrolling and the quickness on that. I am aware of that. So this is the chase cam, so we'll come back now as you see a lovely shot of Bongo Man and Butler coming up the hill. So he's having a little bit of a look round there, but Ben saw that from a mile off. So we'll just see if we can get that and see if we can just go back 10 seconds with LFC Ben, because Bongo went for a move on Butler, misjudged it, went a little bit deep and opened the door for LFC Ben. So Ben, he wasn't going to let that opportunity pass. So as they're coming up over the mountain now, so this is another tricky section. You just got to see, we see some sparks there, just the wall, and Butler, that's thrown Butler wide, and he's had a big incident there. So, but he's managed to recover it. That's well held by Butler. I'm just going to see if we can get that from Butler. So as we see him coming over the mountain here, he just missed just that. That was the first tap, and he hit the wall here, and it just sent him catapulted into the grass. He got it a little bit sideways, but managed to keep hold of it. So no real harm done. So that's a great recovery from Butler. So then we see Bongo getting it a little bit loose, and Butler's right on the back of Bongo Man here. But meanwhile, in the background there, we've just seen Tyler, a good friend Tyler from the United States, keeps saying to me that he hates this car and he can't drive it. But I'm sure you'll see tonight. He's really, I don't know, he's used to his Group 1s and Group 2s, but they've really taken to this, and I'm really pleased that they've got to grips with it and sort of tackled it. And he's having great fun, is Tyler, and he's enjoying it. Then we've got IRC Knock, who's just managed to misjudge the chase again, gone onto the grass, so that'll give him dirty tyres. So he's gonna have to be careful. He's under attack here from JP, who's gone down the inside into Murray's corner, which is the last corner now, becoming over the start-finish line to finish lap 3 and start lap 4, and then this corner I found, if you take it in third gear, it's a little bit more settled, but you're seeing there's all different lines to take. So Knox should have got rid of his dirty tyres by now, and yes, once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're not seeing things. I'm racing this one because it's one of my favourite tracks. It didn't used to be. I hated it. Well, I didn't hate it all. I hated one section of it, and no prizes for guessing what section that was. Yes, the mountain section. No matter what car I drove, I ended up it felt like I was in a washing machine going down the mountain, and I recruited some help and said, look, how do you do it? And I got taught a technique, and I've never really looked back from it, and it served me well. And yeah, if I get past knowledge and if someone else is struggling, then I'll do the same and pass it on. So yeah, they're certainly flirting with the walls there. You see some sparks fly up from Knock. So I treated myself to made myself a new livery for this week. A bit of a tribute livery. It's a John Briggs old Super Cheap Autos livery that was on a Ford Falcon, driven by Chaz Mostert. So I thought, I wonder how good this will look on the Porsche. And I thought, ooh, yeah, go on then. So I put it on, and yeah, I'm hoping it'll serve me well. That bit of a nod to the circuit. That's one of the main sponsors here at Mount Panorama. I'm being hunted down by Joey, who we saw last week was a really quick pair of hands from the Future Champions Social Club. So yeah, he's the driver tutor over there. So I'm under scrutiny again. So yeah, there's a little bit of pressure on me at this stage because I'm thinking, oh God, don't misbehave, don't make a complete hash of it. But I found myself into a groove, and yeah, I was really enjoying it. So that's enough of me on the screen. So we'll go back to welcome along Swifty, who's new to the championship. This is her first event. Joined in at the last minute, and yeah, he's always up. He likes these Porsches, so he thought he'd try his hand at this and just go out and have some fun, really, to be honest. And then last but not least, we've got Ekberg, the mad Swede, also the resident photographer, as if you didn't catch it last week. So all the photos that you'll see popping up on the social media channels are done by this guy, and also Danny C. So I've got a little treat in store for Ekberg. The race is set at sunrise, so it's going to be a prolonged sunrise, so hopefully we get some really nice atmospheric shots, because the scenery here at Bathurst, especially when you're coming over the skyline, is just stunning. So we'll just go quickly back to the top of the grid, and we see Shadow at the moment has pulled out a sizable gap over David in second place, who's running the Apple Computers livery from back in the day. I'm not sure what year this was run, but it's one of those liveries where less is more, and it's quite a simple livery. David would probably disagree, because I think he was having a bit of a nightmare with it, but I just want to say, I mean, I do all the liveries for the other series that I do, the main series, the British Touring Cars. So I know exactly how much effort goes into these, and to see these guys put not just effort into the practice for the race itself, but to put all the time and effort to make a livery, yeah, it's really, really appreciated. And yeah, tip of the cap to you all. And speaking of liveries, we'll just come back down to the serial eater, Wally DJ. He's always had anything to do with orange. I've not found out the link yet. I'm assuming his favourite, should we say, sponsor is from his. He's a massive motorsport fan, in particular bikes. So he's always been a fan of the Repsol liveries, which involves like a orange, sort of red, blue. So he's always been a fan of that. So I decided to give Wally a little gift, and I made him this livery the other night. So I'm hoping it serves him well. He was winding the group up, because if you notice on the livery, I see if we can get a shot of it, I put some vents on the side of the car, and there we see them. So he's winding the Discord group up saying how he's fitted a turbo to it, he's had to put some vents in. So he's a proper wind-up merchant, is our Wally. So the field has started to spread out now, but if you look, I ask 2 independent drivers to supply me with fuel and tyre wear values, because I'm racing it and I want it to be fair. That's what we're all about here at JCR, and if I put the tyre wear in, then I'll have an advantage if I already know in advance. So I get it done independently. I put it in before I open the lobby. As Wally's there, he's destroying that livery that I made. How dare he destroy it? I'll be having words when I see him back in the paddock. Yeah, he's put some real... That's not going to T-cut out, I don't think. So yeah, the fuel figures and the tyre wear figures are completely random. So I'm in the same boat as them. And we look at the tyre wear now, that it seems to be the fronts are doing okay, but the rear right seems to be, well, I say that, it's the offside front and rear that seem to be taking a hammering, as we see Wally getting it all loose as he just comes out of Murray's corner. At the end of lap 6 there, just onto the grass, but he managed to keep hold of it, as we see the sun starting to poke through the clouds in the background now. So hopefully, I mean, the track looks a little bit greasy, but I'm assuming that's down to mountain dew, because apparently it doesn't rain in Australia. I know different. So hopefully the track should start to warm up a little bit now, but the tyres seem to be... Just going to have a look at the other tyres. We've got LFC Ben, who's slightly worse on fuel. So this is lap 7 now they're on. So I'm expecting the start of the first round of pit stops to be any time now. So Danny C's got a little bit more... Butler's got a little bit more fuel. So we see how Tyler's doing. I think they're all very similar on fuel. So, yeah, they're all roughly the same. And JP, just want to welcome along JP. He's very new to the community. Great guy. Chatted with him at some length. And he's, if you're wondering what the Japcom refers to, that is a sponsor of a series of a friend of his. That races the racing Hondas, and that's the main sponsor of the series. So I believe Bongo Man has made him this livery, and yeah, doesn't it look stunning? This, it's sort of blends in with the skyline at the moment. So as they're coming down the mountain here for the 7th time, this is the tricky bit here. It's just getting the car settled down into Forest Elbow, into second gear, back on the throttle, and just avoiding those barriers on the right hand side. So I'm just going to go quickly back up through the grid now, and we'll just see. Unfortunately my keyboard doesn't work with it does work with live replays, but it doesn't work with recorded replays for some reason. So as we see there, so we've got Shadow from the lead coming in, followed by David. So we've got the mechanic standing by. So I wonder if I think, yeah, if it was me, I think I'd be changed. I think I changed tyres on each stop. But having said that, we'll check back in. But Wally is decided to stay out. So has he got a master plan up his sleeve? So Butler has also decided to stay out and follow him. So these are good for another lap. So yeah, maybe they're looking at extending the first stint. Possibly. All the field at the moment, as you can see, have had the racing medium compound tyres on. So I'm just going to see. I'll focus back on these two in a second, but I'm just going to see. Yeah, so we've seen them coming back out on racing mediums. So they've had 7 laps on one set of tyres and the fuel. So it's they could have gone more on the tyres, as we've seen, but we might see them. Look at that in the background, ladies and gentlemen, as the sun really starts to rise now at Mount Panorama. I'm just going to go on board with Shadow briefly, as this is what the view that they get as they come up the mountain. So we've just got to settle the car coming out of here. track dips slightly here. This is a bit of an unsettling part. Just got to miss that wall on the right hand side. Then it's just keeping it tight to the left. Look at this, absolutely stunning. So you just got to get the car settled here. Fourth gear, third, give it a slight brake, keep it in third, and then back up through the gears. And then you've just got this last right hander. Then it's down a dip, down into second gear, keep it tight, and then back on the throttle. So now that's it. So let's just come back out of this view now. This is his Shadow in his full racing gear, matching his livery. Well, it's great to see. He's even done the livery. He's even done his race suit as well. What a legend. So we'll just come back out of this view now. Do apologise about all these view changes. Look at that for a camera shot. So I'm expecting to see Butler and Wally come into the pits. They'll be coming in at this lap. They just come under the Armour Bridge to Murray's Corner. You've just got to keep your wits about you on the pit entry. That point there is a penalty. If you clip that curb and go over it, you do get a 3-second penalty. So Wally, the legend, has decided he's listening to my comms and gone, no, I'm not coming in. So is Wally trying to go for a... Surely not. He can't be going for a one-stop. Surely not. I mean, if he does manage to pull that off, I mean, if anybody can pull it off, it's this man here. So his tyres, he's keeping really good management of his tyres here. So he's got to be wary, because we know Shadow's pitted. So we're just going to see where Shadow is in track, lad. Look where Shadow is. Shadow's entering the mountain section. Wally is only halfway across it. So there's only about a 5-second gap, 6-second gap between these two at the moment. So let's just get a marker now. So Wally should be exiting. Yeah, he's just coming down through the dipper. Whoa, and he gets it a little bit squirrely there. Well, that's not going to help him. So now, yeah, that's right, it's about a 4 or 5 second gap. But look at the view you get here, right across the skyline here. Yeah, so that's an uncharacteristic mistake from Wally there. So Shadow's not far behind him. So we're just going to go quick back through the grid. We've got Ekberg. So he's obviously just pitted. As they're coming onto the start finish straight here, we got Swifty. So he's obviously pitted. We got Joey J. As he gets it slightly loose there. So that's on a new set of tyres. So it just proves how greasy the surface is. But look at that, doesn't it? It makes for. I think Ekberg will be in heaven if he wants to do some photos of this. We never ask him to. He just, I don't know. He really is a whiz with the camera. And some of the shots he pulls out are absolutely stunning. But look at the light coming onto the track here. So we'll just quickly check in with myself here. So I've obviously pitted. So there you can see the full livery in all its glory, and the sunset in the back, sunrise in the background. So I'm just minding my own business here, having a nice Sunday drive. No pressure, got no one round me. I quite enjoy myself, to be honest. And yeah, I wanted to tackle this track, especially in this car, because it's a real test. If you can get it working round here, and you really do get a buzz when you hook it together. I mean, I'm not in any way near the pace of these guys, but I just do it to take part and have fun. So look at that from the view down the start finish straight. What a view there. They've got Knock in my sights there, but I think he just proved a little bit too quick. He had a bit more pace than myself, and I just could not get on the back of him, no matter how hard I tried. So Knock's running the Falcon livery from back in the day. I've always said that this looks absolutely stunning here. But we've just seen them coming through we're just going to go back on board with Tyler. So this group of cars here, this is the closest battle we've got at the moment. So that's Tyler really pushing Butler up the mountain here. We know all these have pitted. But Tyler gets it a little bit loose there, but Butler's he's already had one spill over the mountain. So can he keep it in check there as Tyler clouts the wall there? So luckily he hasn't picked up damage. So we're just going to come on board. Look at that as he comes over the mountain. His lovely turtle wax livery. So I'm sure he's had the polishes out again for keep it gleaming, less air resistance. He's got JP right in his sights. So the gap here is roughly, I would say about 3/10 between them, 2 or 3/10. But this, it all depends how they want to play this. You can get the slipstream as we see Wally finally come in the pits. I'm just going to go quickly back to Wally as his mechanics, and he's also got Repsol. Look at this, he's also got the full race suit livery. What a star. So let's just focus on Wally for a minute and just see what he chooses. This is interesting. So with him extending it to 9 laps, I'm suspecting he's going to go on a set of racing hards. As you can see the livery there in all its glory. I really enjoyed making this one. And Wally, yeah, got a big thanks off Wally. So let's just see. Oh, so Wally he's got a penalty on his final lap coming into the pits of a second, and he's also picked a penalty up coming into the pits, so that's unfortunate. So all that hard effort, the hard work that Wally's put in to extend his stint is now potentially going to be undone, because he will be serving his penalty on this lap, and the penalty line here at Mount Panorama is an absolute killer. It's literally as you get halfway down the Conrod Straight. So you've almost got up, not quite full speed, but you're doing about 130 mile an hour, and then you're literally back. Well, Wally will go right back to 0 almost. So Butler can see that Wally's got a penalty, but as he's taking advantage of that, he goes side by side with Butler as with Wally over the skyline. Can he get this move done? He has. Wally's yielded there wisely, I would say, with his penalty. So, but on the back of this, we've got Tyler making the most of this. I bet he can't believe his luck that he's got Butler and Wally in his sights in a live 9th place for Tyler, as Wally gets it a little bit sideways there. But Tyler will be rubbing his hands here because he knows Wally's going to be serving a 4-second penalty here. So this is Tyler getting a real boost. He's getting the slipstream as much as he can before he goes past. And there's Wally. Oh, that'll be painful for Wally. So let's just go back up to Tyler now. Can he get on the back of Butler? But they've got to be careful, because obviously faster you go, the more fuel you use. And Tyler's he's not renowned for fuel saving. He's yeah, he realises the only time fuel saving comes into account with Tyler is when he realises he should have done. And he's running low on fuel. So yeah, bless him, he's a cracking lad, but he just likes having fun and going out and racing. But look at that, as we've got a prolonged sunrise here, so yeah, it makes for some stunning views. But I'm just going to quickly go back up the grid now, so we know Butler's in 7th place. We've got JP in 6th place with just under half a tank of fuel. So he's having a great race here, and his good mate, he's got his mate in front of him, Bongo Man, another new guy to the community. And yeah, I've had some really good, really nice chats with these guys in party chats. Really quick as well. Seems to be able to turn his hand to most vehicles. He's been in the touring cars, he's been in obviously he's in the Porsches. But so we've got Danny C here, just coming over the mountain here for the 12th time. So nice and steady through the mountain. We see Danny has picked up some damage. I'm just going to see if we can get where he's picked that up from. Oh, as we just got let's go back again. So we're just on board with Danny as he comes through here. I'm suspecting it could be the wall. Yes, he caught the wall on the entry to the skyline, which catapulted him off into the gravel. So yeah, Danny won't be too happy with that. So we'll just fast forward 10 seconds as we come down the mountain. So this is what happens when you've got damage. It really affects the steering. So he got off quite lightly there. So that's why you saw Danny coming down the mountain quite slowly and gingerly, because he couldn't go at full racing pace. Otherwise, he'd pick up more damage. As you see now, the damage has disappeared. So he's back up to full speed now. So he knows he's got his work cut out because he's got David in front of him. So this is, yeah, so make sure that, yeah, Danny's always been good at this track. As you see, nice and smooth through the chase. So we've got David just coming into T1. So Danny's not far behind these. Not far at all. We might even see Danny come into the shot. So Bongo Man has come in from 5th place. So that's JP and Butler were going to make most of that. Tyler will possibly go through as well. Look at that on the fuel. 3% of fuel he had left. So that's really close to the fumes. So that's put Tyler in 7th place. So we've got Shadow leading the race at the moment with LFC Ben in 2nd place. Followed by David, Danny C, JP, Butler, Tyler and Wally are your top 8. So Shadow here is basically in the groove, just doing his thing. And he's Mr. Consistent, is Shadow. Once he gets... Yeah, he's always been one of these guys. I've known Shadow for so many years now, and it doesn't matter what the track, if he doesn't race it a lot, he's one of these drivers that can pick up a track incredibly quickly and get up to speed very quickly also. And once he gets in a groove, he's like a robot. He just keeps on going. And I'm not saying he's infallible, but you don't really see him make many mistakes. I'm going to come off him now. So just going to see David now, who's got Shadow in his sights. So he won't be too worried at the moment because they're very similar on strategy. They pitted round about the same time. So this race could be won on pit stops, or more precisely the time in the pit. So I can't see them. You see, they might not change the tyres on one stop to gain a few seconds in the pits, or they might underfuel. But I can't see the latter happening, to be honest. Or they could switch the strategy mid-race and decide, do you know what, I'm going to go on a set of hards. Now, I've not seen anybody using hards at the moment. So, LFC Ben here. So Ben is currently in 3rd place. He's got a decent enough gap. So you see JP has come in. So he had a little bit of fuel left, but I'm presuming that was for tyres. So just go down to Danny C and just see where he is. So yeah, he's about 5-6 seconds off LFC Ben. But Danny is not much better on Ben than with fuel. Butler is in a stronger position, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Butler has decided to roll the dice and go on a set of hards. Now, as the name says, these are the harder wearing compound. You will suffer with the handling slightly because, yeah, they offer less grip, but they are the more durable tyre. So he's got to be careful. So he's got a fast charging Tyler who's on the racing mediums right behind him. But we see Tyler, he's not got, yeah, Butler won't know this, but Tyler, yeah, I'm expecting Tyler to come in this lap. So Butler is in a pretty comfortable position at the moment. So he's just got to focus on catching Danny. But meanwhile, if you look at the leaderboard, we've got a certain Mr. Wally DJ closing down on Tyler. So we know that Wally extended his first stint, so he's going to be one with the most fuel at the moment. As we see, he's got 3/4 of tank of fuel. But he's chosen to stay on the mediums. And you won't see Wally sliding it round much because that wears your tyres. So he's got Tyler in his sights, as you can see. So we'll just go on board with Wally as he comes down. We'll go on the full racing view here. You can see his lovely suit that he's got on, that he's made. So we can see Wally up into 6th gear quite early on the Conrod Straight. We normally change to 6th round about here. Yep, so back down into 3rd gear. Nice and steady through. Look at the smooth inputs. He's out for a Sunday cruise, is our Wally. So he knows that the people in front of him are going to be pitting. So now this is... Butler won't be pitting, but this is going to put Wally into 3rd place. And can he make the most of this now? He's put the effort in. As you see David Wallbank there just exiting the pits ahead of him. So he's not managed to get the jump on David. So he's put Wally into 4th place. But he knows that David's now on fresh rubber. So we'll just come back out of this view. So David knows what Wally's up to. So they're keeping it. They'll, as best as they can, they'll be keeping an eye on what are the other drivers are going into the pits and coming out on the tyres. So if you look at the lap times there, they're qualifying, just to give you an idea, the pole position time was a 2:10 or a 2:11. So if you look at the times here, so they're doing a 2:13, 2:14. This is Wally, but we know Wally's been fuel saving. But if you look at David, it's very consistent round about the 2:13 mark. So they don't want to be going really flat out, because obviously that's just burning more fuel. So yeah, David's been very cautious. It's his out lap effectively. As you see him getting a little bit loose there, so Wally will be taking notes of that, knowing that David's he knows he's pushing. He's putting David under real pressure here. But will Wally decide to go for the move here, or will he decide to stay in the slipstream and be able to save a little bit more fuel? It looks like Wally's decided to hang back and just stay in the slipstream. Yeah, he's getting as close as he can, but is he looking at a move? He is. He's going to go for a move into the chase. This takes great respect. But you see Wally, he got the move done, but he carried too much speed into the chase and went a little bit deep, so he'll have to regroup and try again, but he knows he can get that done. It's a great overtaking place there, the chase, but it does take for a lot of respect from both drivers. But meanwhile, Butler is in 2nd place on a set of hards, but he's only got one more lap of fuel. But he's got, as you can see in the background, we've got David and Wally closing down on Butler, and these pair are both good on fuel. So will Butler, I'm interested to see this. I think Butler will just come in for fuel. He won't change his tyres. So he's trying to get these tyres. Will he make it to the end on these tyres? We've got 15 minutes remaining of this race, and at a 2-minute odd lap, it's roughly 6 laps, I think, 6 or 7 laps. So he's easily got enough tyres for 6 or 7 laps, and a full tank, from what I can remember, you could get 7 laps. So I'm expecting Butler to come in just for a full tank of fuel. But David's making the most of this. He knows Butler's on the hards, but will David? It's a very, very risky place to overtake on the mountain. You've got to be absolutely precise, and again, it takes huge respect as Butler gets it a little bit loose. Is this going to slow him down? Is this going to give him... This is going to leave him vulnerable on the Conrod Straight. I would imagine that these two are going to make a move here. So this takes coordination, and they'll stay in the slipstream until they go under the bridge here. We could see a move here from David, or will he choose to stay in the slipstream? And we got a slow-moving Swifty on the right-hand side. As you can see, the blue flag's coming out, and he's managed to get out of the way. That's very good. David's got the move done. into the chase. Nicely done from David there. Well held. That's a great move. Let's just see if we can get that from David. And see him as they come down they come down the Conrod straight just towards the end. He gets the move done just here, puts it down the inside, keeps it nicely controlled, no sliding around, gets the pass done. So we could see a move, but we know Butler's coming into the pits here, so Wally didn't have to get the move done, so now he can resume his battle with David. But meanwhile in the lead we've got Shadow GT coming up on a slow moving Etberg. Maybe he's got confused with his strategies, but yeah, he's getting out of the way. That's lovely to see. As we see Shadow here on lap 17, going purple. I'm just going to focus with Danny C. Let's just go back. I think there was a move coming. Is it lap 60? Yes, we see. Yeah, he's coming down there to look at the chase into JP, and what a pass from Danny C. Absolutely brilliant. So there's another example of great respect shown by the drivers. Getting a pass done through the chase is really satisfying, because you know what we try to run here at JCR is we don't have a penalty system, or we don't have an incident room, as most communities like to call it. We have very few rules, and you may think, oh, yeah, well that's a recipe for disaster, but it's actually worked in our favour all these years. We just stand by the motto, fair and clean racing, and if you make contact with someone, and not intentionally, we know it's racing, rubbing's racing, as they say. And if you go off track, or you cause someone else to go off track, we expect you to pull over, give the place back. Say at first safest place you can do it. So that's how we've run, and we've never needed the penalty system, because it's all self-managed, because the drivers have the utmost respect for each other here. As we see Danny C, I'm just going to stay on board with this. This is looking like a battle developing. As look at that, the sun is finally coming up now over the skyline, so they've got a little bit more daylight now. So Danny is really chasing Ben down. So Ben is in a current 5th place at the moment, so Danny's after all the points he can get to make up for a sort of uncharacteristically low finishing position for Danny. So will he go for... See, he's closing the gap here, so Ben must be fuel saving. So let's just see if Danny can get close enough. He looks like he's getting close, but can he get... Is he always going for a move on the kink here? Oh, he's got to be careful. Oh, Danny's got that all wrong. Oh my word. That's what happens when you... all that's caused that is the curve. Let me just see if I can get that. Let's just go back a little bit further. You see him just touch... When he goes for the move here, he just kisses the curb on the inside of this kink. I wonder if we can get it on camera. There. That's what unsettles the car. And oh my word. Yeah, that's Danny getting taken for a ride. He's not going to be too happy with that at all. So let's just go back. So he's going to have to regroup. That's well, luckily the major sideways movement was on grass, so hopefully he won't have taken too much life out of his tyres. But yeah, that will have been a bit of a hairy ride for Danny. It just goes to show even the top drivers here, and it doesn't take much, and it was no... I wouldn't say it was driver error, it was just purely how twitchy these cars are, and especially if you just glance the curb, because if you look at the curbs, they're quite chunky curbs. So it just takes, all it can take is that to unsettle the car, and it's once it goes, and once it hits the grass, you are just a passenger. There's nothing he could do about it. It's just one of those incidents, but I don't think we'll see Danny touching that curb again. But let's just go back up to the grid with Tyler. So he's in a live 6th place at the moment with half a tank of fuel with 10 minutes remaining on this race. So that's roughly 4 laps. So I think Tyler's good to the end. So he's in a really strong position here. Is Tyler? Oh, that's unfortunate, but he's managed to keep hold of it. He's got away with damage incredibly on that. So that's very lucky from Tyler's perspective. But you can see Danny closing in on the back of Tyler now. So we got LFC Ben, who probably thought, what on earth is happening? When you see Danny was going for a move, next minute he was down the side of him, next minute he was around the back of him. So yeah, I bet Ben had a bit of a shock when that happened. So Ben's pretty good on fuel, so I think Ben's good to the end. So let's just check in with Butler and see how he's doing. He's managing his tyres really well on the hards. So I'm just going to see the gap between Butler and Wally. So Butler's just going over the start finish now. Wally is going into turn 1, so there's not a big gap. I would say maybe 1.7, maybe a little bit more, maybe 2.5, something like that. So Wally is he's got fresh rubber, he's got over half a tank of fuel, just under 3/4. So Wally is good to the end. So can he do anything to catch David Wallbank? So if you look on the track map in your top right on the corner of your screen, you'll see the red arrow. That is Wally, and there's a blue arrow just in front of him. So I'm expecting David to be halfway across the mountain. So he's just approaching the top of the first uphill section, coming down this little bit of a dip. So he's just got to keep off that wall. He's now entering the skyline. So he's just got to keep it under control here. You want to stay away from the curb on the right, because that is a one-way ticket to Barry R. Yeah, and you've got to take the service. You've got to say service road. You've got to take the escape road, because you're hanging on for dear life. If you clout that white wall, yeah, that's all sorts of pain. So he's managed to get here unscathed, as he's quite handy with this car. He doesn't seem phased when the back end goes out. Yeah, he's got it under control, but we'll just go back in. We'll just check in with the leader, Shadow GT. Just about to start, lap 20. So he's now got, we can see on the clock, 6.5 minutes left of this race, so that's roughly 3 laps. So he's got plenty of tyres, plenty of rubber left on the rims, and he should be good on fuel, but I'd imagine the Shadow will be doing a little bit of fuel saving at this point, just to make sure, because the last thing he wants to do, which is what Jimmy did here last week, I thought I'd saved enough fuel. I got to 5 minutes left on the clock, and at Spa that's roughly 2 laps, and I had 1.5 laps of fuel. So yeah, I had to come in for 1 lap of fuel. So yeah, I'd shot myself in the foot. So I don't think we're going to see that with Shadow here. He's Mr. Cool, and yeah, he'll have worked all this out on his strategies. He's definitely pitted at the right time, and he's made it work absolutely perfect. As you see the clear blue skies now, as approaching the final stages of this race here at Mount Panorama, aka Bathurst. So I think they'll be glad now to see it finishing in daylight. So it's a nice chilled Sunday drive back for Shadow now, so he's just got to keep it all together, just keep doing what he's doing, and he's Mr. Consistent. As you look at that, 2:11, 2:12, 12, 12, that's what I was talking about earlier. He gets in a groove and he just does the same thing time and time again, and that's what you need at the circuit like this. This circuit, believe it or not, yes, there are fast straights, but it's not all about ultimate speed here. This is all, the key to the whole lap here is the mountain. As we see, Shadow is coming in, so maybe he thinks he hasn't quite got enough. So we see Shadow there, so David Wallbank is just entering the Conrod Straight, so Shadow knows that all he's got to do is put in a little drop of fuel. So he should, as we wait for his fuel gauge to go up, so this is going to be close. So David is now coming down the Conrod Straight. He's entering the right-hand kink where you saw Danny take a spin before, just coming through the chase here. So David, yes, Shadow's not going to put a great amount of fuel in. So Shadow should be entering the pits now, exiting the pits now. So David might. We'll see what this now sees. Shadow is just exited the pits now, so he's got a decently. We might see David entering T1 in the back. In the background here, look at that for a shot, just coming down the mountain straight here. So we'll just go back down to the back of the grid here. We have got Swifty. Where his car looks a bit in the wars there. He looks like he's been having some up and close and personal conversations with Barry R, it looks like. So, yes, to see what the gap is between there. We can see Ekberg. So Ekberg is getting the blue flags. He will see that on his screen. So he's getting out of the way here for Wally. Not an easy place to pass, as you want to try and stay away from that curb on the left-hand side as you're coming through the cutting. But Ekberg's there, enjoying himself. He races just for the fun of it, and he's in some cars he's really, really quick. I don't think he's really got to grips with this car. However, he's not given in, he's not thrown the towel in, and that's another thing that we pride ourselves on here at Jimmy Codger Racing, and that's the group of drivers we've got in the community. You very, very rarely see anybody just quit as, oh, that's unfortunate, I'll come off Ekberg there. That was an unfortunate spin from Ekberg. But go back to what I was saying. They stick it out and race the whole race. They don't give in, and yeah, just carry on to the bitter end. So you can see here, this is me on just basically a Sunday drive. I'm managing my fuel. I can see on the clock I've got I've got about 2 minutes left on the race now, so I know that this is potentially, I might get one more lap, so I know I'm good on fuel, but I've picked up rear end damage, which is not great. So I was a bit cautious coming down the mountain here, just in case. I wasn't too sure, because the back end of this Porsche is lively, should we say. So I was extra cautious coming down here, because the last thing I wanted to do, because I had Joey, I can't remember the gap now, but I knew he was closing in on me, so the last thing I wanted to do was a spin there and potentially lose 11th place. So we'll just go back up now. So we've got Bongo Man coming up on knock, also from the United States. It's great to see. Great to have the United States contingency here. Tyler's always supported me from all the series I do. Knox just come back into the community. He's been around for quite some time. So he's another reasonably fast pair of hands. So we're just approaching now 49 minutes. So we see Swifty just pulling out of the way, letting these guys past. So we'll just work our way back up the grid. I've got Danny C currently in 6th place. Now let's just see where Danny C, he's just coming up. He's come through the cutting now. So LFC Ben is hounding Butler, so there's not a big gap. So Butler is throwing everything at this, but Ben is putting Butler under real pressure. Let's just go on board with LFC Ben. Look at this. We've got Ben on the mediums and we've got Butler on the hards. So he's piling the pressure on to Butler here. So he's just got to keep it together. I think Butler will be sweating here. So just got to keep it together. So Ben can keep this gap here. He's going to be in a really, really strong position coming on to the Conrod Straight here. So Ben's got a huge, massive drive out of there. He's really close to Butler now. So let's just see if Ben is going to go for the move. We can see just as we're coming through the different views here, side by side coming down the Conrod Straight. But look at this for a view. And we see Shadow has taken the win here. Let's just see if I can see him coming across the line. So Shadow here takes the win at Bathurst for Jimmy Codger Racing's round 2 of this Porsche Cup Series. Takes the win. What a win from Shadow. Dominant drive. Absolutely superb. He's just done everything he needed to do. So it's incredible. He's thoroughly deserved, and we see our good mate Waldo coming over the line after his I think he would call it botched strategy. He did try to go for a one-stop, and he realised that everybody was going to be three-stopping, so he had to scramble and change his strategy midway through the race. So, but nonetheless, you see there, Wally did get the fastest lap. Look at that, a 2:10. That's the first 2:10 I've seen in the build-up to this event. So there you can see the true pace of this guy. So, what a race we've had tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely superb. Couldn't thank these drivers enough. So until next week, have a great week ahead, and tune in next Saturday, 16th of May, 7:30, live here with me, Jimmy Codger. Take care and see you soon.